Oh, we are. We're live. We're checking connection. We're now live two ways. Okay. So we are live on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. So, I'm going to go very slowly so I say your name correctly so I don't put your wrong name out there. Hanan
Yes.
Abdul-Hameed.
Correct.
Correct. And I'm so glad you're here today.
Glad
We've
to
been
be here.
visiting for a little bit, but we finally turned the camera on. We'll let everyone else in on our conversation. We're actually going to pretend like the rest of you all aren't here. We're going to talk to each other. But, I would love to just let people get a sense of who you are and how you work and the kind of person and the energy that you bring so that twofold, so that there's people out there that are on the fence about having a doula that think like maybe I do want to have one, maybe I don't want to have one. We were speaking before about how sometimes it's partners who are the ones that aren't sure about having that third person there. Mm-hmm. So I think that just hearing how you speak and experiencing your energy is going to be something that somebody's going to watch this and say, yeah, I would love to have an energy like that in the room with me. And then someone else who's looking specifically for a doula is going to figure out from watching this that Hanan is the doula for them. Okay. So tell us a little bit about how you got into birth work. You do birth doula work and postpartum doula work.
Yes.
All sorts of. Which parts do you like the best? How did you get into that?
Okay, so I attended my first birth, which was the birth of my nephew, Bashir, when I was 17 years old, and from that moment on I've just always just been really fascinated with labor, with childbirth, with maternal wellness, with early childhood development. That's always just been something I've been truly like passionate about ever since I've been about 17 years old. Mm-hmm.
So you were doing it informally for a while before you formally trained to become a doula?
Yeah, so I've assisted many friends, some relatives, and even some neighbors with their deliveries. Mm-hmm. I've actually did a lot of assistance with like breastfeeding support. Okay. Even before I got more into like postpartum care, I was like pretty much like that go-to person to call on the phone for like any issues with pregnancy, or if there were any issues with like I feel like this is going on like wrong, or my milk is not coming, like little questions like that.
And that was just because of your experience and wisdom as a mother at that point?
No, actually, I was an aunt many years before I actually married and had my own, flock of children. So, I see my sisters, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say I've had about seven nephews before I actually became a mother on my own. Okay. And it was one of those things where it came back to bite me in my butt. Like a lot of things I said, I would never do this. I would never do that. Like, or you're letting him do this, and it's like now that I'm a mother, or even when I was like a new mother, it was like, oh yikes, this is tough. Yeah. I was a little rough.
Yeah. So you were gaining like insight and knowledge about breastfeeding and about pregnancy even before you experienced them for yourself.
Yes.
Okay. What were the ways that you were learning about that?
So I actually had a chance to watch my nephews quite extensively. My 3 eldest nephews, I actually would watch them very consistently on like a weekly basis. And at that time, I believe they were like 4, 2, and 1, or 4, 2, and newborn. Yeah. And so I've always kind of like had that love and that passion for children. And I just remember one time my brother-in-law was like, is that Hanan in there reading? Like, she sounds like she's a narrator or something. And I've always, my parents were like really big on like, on education. We know they did a lot of like singing and reading and all different types of like extracurricular activities like that enhanced us. So I feel like that's something that even stemmed from my parents, like the love of like like early childhood development stemmed from like me being a child, you know.
And did you grow up in Philadelphia?
Yes,
Okay.
I grew up in West Philly, and you know, pretty much I've been here all my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to high school at John Bartram, which is located at 67th and Elmwood.
Okay.
Elmwood Avenue.
Okay.
And I studied arts and humanities when
Okay.
I was there.
I think there's so many transplants. I'm sure you've met, even in the doula work, there's people that have come here. I came here as a transplant. I grew up somewhere else and then came here just for my adult life. So I like it when I think the connection to someone who has seen Philadelphia over the years, when you've grown up there, when you've seen some of the highs and lows and the goods and the bad of being here in the city, and you have something special then to offer the people that you're helping usher them into raising their own families here. So
I agree that there's a benefit in being a native, and actually, like, you know, just being able to kind of have that connection of it's a bond, I believe. Yeah, I believe so.
Were you born at one of the city hospitals?
I was born. What is the name of this place? Hold on, it's called. It begins with a B.
Booth Maternity?
Booth Maternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law was born there. Yeah.
And it turned into... What did it turn into?
I don't know what it turned into.
Yeah, but I remember...
It was out, like, kind of on the main line.
Yeah, that's where I was born. I was born
Okay.
at Booth Maternity.
Okay.
And I just remember my mom, you know, always explaining, like, how I was born in, like, a winter storm. And actually, my name is actually... it means sympathetic. There's a surah. There's a chapter in the Quran. It's Surah Maryam, and it's mentioned. It's referenced as sympathetic. And but my mom always kind of translates it into mercy, and she always says like that. I'm trying to think. My mom is she's like an herbalist.
Okay.
But like, of course, she doesn't like have. I'm gonna be honest. She's an herbalist and she's a masseuse, but she may not have the actual letters behind her name.
Sure.
But she took all of these herbs because I think that she was like getting closer, and she, you know, was kind of like, and it turned out into being like a storm of like 8 inches or something like that. And she was telling me that she took like, I believe it was squall vine that she took.
Okay.
I believe it may not be squall vine, but some herbs she took, and it, you know, took into effect quicker. And she just was like, she just always like will grab me and be like, oh, like she just couldn't handle the contractions. But you know, I believe that my mother's holistic approach to like nursing and pregnancy, and just that her whole aura just kind of like affected me as well, because there were certain things that I used to think were kind of like creepy or weird when I was a kid, and now I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing those same things with my kids. Yeah. So I believe that definitely impacted me in a positive way. Even though my mother was not present for the, you know, she wasn't assisting me with the births of my children, but I just feel like I still kind of heard her voice. Yeah. And you know, it was just like whatever her philosophy was for raising us. I think that kind of like the early years, that kind of really kind of helped me get like grounded as a mother. Yeah.
So have you grown to be true to your name? Is Hanan?
Yeah, it's funny because
I did it again. I'm sorry. I was gonna have this whole interview without a mispronunciation.
That's fine.
We didn't.
But it's funny because I know that I used to work at a blood bank, and I believe that I do have a very assertive nature, but I also believe that with me being assertive, I'm still very caring and compassionate, and I'm still very nurturing. But I think that, you know, that was kind of being highlighted because, you know, I was a little bit of like in a supervisor position, and I remember one of the men said to me, sympathetic. Yeah. And I'm like, what? You know, but I've always like had like many clients that I've worked with. I'm a phlebotomist as well. Okay. So that's what I was doing at the blood bank, and I just remember like there will be like older, like, you know, grandmothers, or there will be like, you know, maybe like some like I feel like that for people who can really truly appreciate customer service, they would like hold on to me. They'd be like, baby, like, you're gonna do great things, or baby, keep going, you know. And I think that customer service is a dying art. I believe that it's a lot of people don't I don't know if people really treasure it anymore. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Both ways. You see, like, you see some things like becoming. I notice, like, when I call my credit card company and I'm just like, hey, I have this, and they're like, I'm so sorry, Miss Verasso, that you're having this difficulty that you see. I recently, in my role as a childbirth educator at the hospital, we had to take a training called verbal judo for de-escalation. Okay. And so I see that in some places they're very, very formally teaching people to de-escalate situations. So you see that where, like, there is this like refinement and like valuing of really treating people well, but then in the general population, I don't think we're just like jerks, bigger jerks to each other than we've ever been.
I don't think we expect it as much anymore. Yeah. Like sometimes, like if like I might, you know, say, oh well, you know, my fries are cold or whatever. It's kind of almost like, oh, just don't complain, you know. But it's just kind of like. I don't think we expect it much anymore. Like, you know, we expect that something could be wrong and just deal with it.
Well, if you were sticking needles in people and they still were having a very good experience with you, that's a testimony to your, again, like the way you carry yourself, your energy, the compassion that is there. It's funny. So people might be seeing children running by. The one that ran by is Clementine, which you said you like her name. Her name, Clementine, means merciful, gentle, and mild.
Wow.
She is not. She
Maybe
is
not yet.
A brute. People used to be like, oh, watch out for the baby. I'd be like, watch out for the baby. Because she was the one that would take like fistfuls of hair at preschool. So we hope that she's growing into that name. And I think that there is that power in naming someone something that they are still growing into and becoming. But I see it. And just meeting you this little bit of time, I see that beauty of your name coming
and
through.
Just knowing that, you know, we have lots of traits, you know, so you could be very strong and powerful, but you can also be very calm and tranquil and you can be very patient, you know. So we're, you know, we contain multitudes, right? Like we don't just have like one, you know, we're not just like one thing, you know, we're not just like one, you know, one trait. We have many traits, you know, that are within us. So
and that's what makes a great doula is not I'm a great doula because I'm this way. You're a great doula because you have that awareness of what's needed in the moment, and you have those facets within yourself, and to bring out what's needed in the moment. That's often something I've seen is people have described having a good experience with a doula is the doula knew when to like be very strong and stern when it was needed, or just to be very like take control of the situation to help you feel like you can be out of control. And other times where the doula just like steps into the background, like she blends in with the wall, you don't even know that she's there, because you need to feel that solitude and that peacefulness. So I can see all that. I really think, I feel like I'm always gushing when I say this, but I love, you know, getting to sit and talk with different doulas. There's just so many amazing people doing this work in the city. And so I think, getting to sit and have this conversation, and doulas are the kind of people that, we'd only interacted from texting from on the phone until you showed up at my door. An hour and 15 minutes ago, and but the sense of peace and warmth that the doula spirit embodies is something that is very, very evident with you. So
well, I think that sometimes as doulas we need to up the ante and need to have the energy, and then sometimes we need to be very calm and very subtle and kind, like you said, just kind of lay low. But knowing when you need to energize your, you know, your mother or your client or your family, and then knowing when, you know, you just need to kind of sit back and, you know, in the chair and just kind of, you know, just observe what's going on. You know, like you've given, like one thing that we talked about a little bit earlier is that I enjoy working with a lot of my fathers, because I'm giving them tools to kind of, you know, kind of help to help their partner. You know, and I want them to kind of feel like I'm not just pushing them to the side, and I'm not just coming in like taking over and taking control. And a lot of times, a lot of the partners that I work with, they meet me with a little bit of resistance. But then after, us talking for 40 or 50 minutes, they're like, you're okay. And then I have them laughing, and they'll be like, I'm going to do the exercises with her, So it's one of those things that brings me a lot of joy to see, to see fathers a little bit more engaged, where maybe that's not what they've been trained to do, where they're not comfortable. They look at like that's a woman's job, Whereas though, yes, a lot of us as women, we work more, and kind of sometimes we can feel a little bit of the pain, especially if we've experienced childbirth before. But knowing that they play just they're just as crucial to like the piece of like they're like a very crucial piece of the puzzle, just as well as we are. Yeah. I mean, of course, they help make the baby. So.
Right. Very important part. Something you said reminded me. I'd like to hear more about. So people will be able to follow you on like Instagram. We'll put all that information out there for them to be able to find you. But so your Instagram handle is This Woman's Work.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I was really nervous about creating it because I'm a little old fashioned, and I really enjoy meeting people in person, and I enjoy engaging and having all types of fun in person. But it felt a little awkward for me to put pictures, and my nephew that's 21 is like, you got to make a video, and I'm like, a video. So it's just, for me now, it's just about keeping current and making sure that I'm able to meet my clients where they are. If everybody is not relying upon a business card or even a phone call anymore, I have to understand that I have to learn how to communicate in a way that more people desire. So that's
Is there anything specific about that phrasing of choosing?
So it's funny because me and my sister Sakina, one of our favorite movies is She's Having a Baby. And I love that movie. I cry, and it's just the song that's actually being played when I don't remember her name, Christy, I believe Christy.
Okay.
Christy, in the movie when she's when they decided when they discovered that the baby was breech, and so it just kind of always I'm a softie.
Yeah.
So I always cry when I don't remember Kevin Bacon's name in the movie. I don't remember.
I have not actually been seeing the movie.
Really?
I'm gonna have to
watch it.
I'm gonna have to go watch it.
Okay,
so
yeah. It's really fun. It's just pretty much a newlywed couple that they get married, and then I believe maybe within 8 or 9 months they're trying to conceive, and they're kind of having a little bit of difficulty, and then she gets pregnant, and it's just fun. It's
I'm gonna watch it.
I believe it's 1980.
Yeah.
7
I
or
remember.
1988.
I remember its existence.
And so Kate Bush, I believe, she's the one who sings the song "This Woman's Work," and at first when I created it, it was more so this woman's work, as in this is the work that I do to help my clients. But now I feel that it's more so this woman's work, as in this is the job of the mother.
Yeah.
So I feel it's a 2-part name or something like that.
Yeah, I like
so
it.
Yeah, but
both hands.
Yeah, it's funny because my sister, she just was that's the name you're gonna use, and I'm yeah,
I
so
especially now that I know.
Yeah, so but it's been maybe a good year since I've watched She's Having a Baby, but that's absolutely one of my favorite movies, and it's got some really famous actors when they were just starting out, so it's it's
What are some other favorite movies?
I like this one movie I like is called There's Something About Mary. I can watch a few movies 7, 8, 9 times over. My absolute favorite movie is Heat.
Okay.
And I actually really love The Godfather 1 and 2. And what other movie do I like? It's called Due Date. Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't.
It's what is his name? Oh God, he's a Dempsey. Downey Jr. What is his name?
I don't even know.
Okay, so
I would look it up.
I can picture him. I can picture his whole face. Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, that's Due Date. That's another movie that I like. Yeah, but I'm not.
You should have known if She's Having a Baby and Due Date were the kind of movies that you were just killing time as a phlebotomist until you started doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you aspire to eventually be a midwife, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I really love the clinical side of birth work, as far as I guess when you think about, like, when you get into, like, I love medical terminology. I would say that I've been blessed with a really good memory. So there's so much that I've just kind of like soaked up, and I'm like, I'm just so fascinated to learn. Like, I'm supposed to be taking like a placenta workshop.
Okay.
Like, I really love the placenta, and I kind of like try not to tell people that, because then they kind of feel like I'm a creep.
Right.
But I love when I'm able to be around
like
my birth worker colleagues. Yeah. And and just knowing, like, so it's I've just always been very fascinated with anatomy and physiology, and actually with the last labor that I assisted with, it was just so beautiful. Like my client, really wanted to have like a delayed cord clamping for her baby, and it was so beautiful because it was like the artery, like it was just like see-through. So then you have like the artery and then the veins, and it's like you can kind of see them, and it was just like, it was like flat, and then it kind of like swirled around to kind of show, like, most of the nutrients were able to pass to the baby. So I've always been like a science
which
birth
is
nerd, whatever people want to say. They call it a birth nerd, but so some of my friends are like, ugh. But I love, like, the fact when I'm around my doula colleagues and we're able to, like, talk about, like, oh yeah, and that placenta or this placenta, or even whatever the variations, like even like when we're able to kind of like talk about like the effacement, or we're able to talk about like the different like we're able to just be able to bond over the pelvis, like that's I love that. Yeah. So I
feel like bond over a pelvis should be like a bumper sticker. I bond over pelvises could be a little pin we
could all so wear. I've always been kind of like quirky, or like weird, like some, like my sister that's right above me, her name is Bashira, and she's always like, you've always been like quirky and weird, and it's fine, because I believe that's I like I'm like that's just what I like, yeah. So I love being able to bond, with, like I said, with my colleagues about, our clients that we've assisted, and just all that good stuff. Yeah, I like it.
And you have a few different like groups that you're a part of that give you that time with colleagues. So
I'm a part.
Go. Why should I list them? You tell us.
So
I know Philly Doula Co-op, because that was sort of my first round of trying to interview everyone from the co-op.
Yeah. So I'm a part of My Philly Doula Co-op, or Philly Doula Co-op, and then I'm a part of My Philly Doula, which is the doula circle, and we are we're able to assist clients with inner circle midwifery.
Okay.
So Asasia Muhammad, actually, we've received training, and we're able to assist clients at a birthing center, or within a home birth.
Okay. What birthing center is she at?
Well, actually, she actually does more home birth.
Does more home birth. Okay.
So that's and then I actually have been pretty involved with Maternity Care Coalition and with PALS within the last maybe 8 months, 7-8 months. And so I actually really enjoy working with Maternity Care Coalition, because I actually get to work with a lot of, I guess you can say, underprivileged clients that may not necessarily find out about a doula. Yeah, so I really, really enjoy that, because there's such a great need for that, and that's something I really feel like close to my heart, being able to work with some of those families.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, we'll hopefully be finding out more of this soon and talk to more of the people that are involved. But can you give a quick blurb about the Maternal Wellness Village? And that's more than just doulas, right?
Yes. So the Maternal Wellness Village was, I guess you could say it was formed by several doulas, nurses, holistic healers, and I know that there are quite a few therapists, and they actually just had their first annual fundraiser, which I was able to attend, and it was really beautiful. It was just really beautiful being able to see so many beautiful, nurturing Black women.
Yeah.
And I've had a chance to work with maybe about 3 or 4 of them, and even the ones that I've never had a chance to work with, or we've never even met in person. It was just like love.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember they were like kind of like dancing as they were like getting ready to take their pictures, and it's just like they're so passionate, and they're just so invested in kind of changing the narrative of the poor maternal outcomes for women of color and babies. And they actually were speaking a lot about a lot of children of color, they may not even see their first birthday. So it was a really great blessing to be in their presence, and it just kind of softened my heart. Yeah, it was beautiful.
There's just so many good things going on in this area with birth work now. I've seen. So how long have you been doing doula work?
So consistently, probably about for the last 7 years.
Okay.
Even though it was kind of like some of the deliveries that I assisted with, like some of my clients, they might have been from like 13, 14, 15 years, but I feel like being consistent. Yeah. I'll count about a good 8 years.
Sure, it's about the same time. We've got kids close to the same age. We jumped in this crazy life of birth work around the same time, and I've just seen such an explosion of, like, I used to feel like you almost, I don't know if you felt this way when you first started, you could almost know most of the doulas in the area, and now you just can't.
Yeah.
There's just new names, new faces popping up all the time because so many people are becoming involved in this work, and I feel like it's just got to be better for lifting up. And it needs to be, and especially because there's people being aware of, like, let's reach to every margin and make sure that this lifts every pregnant person up. And so I think that Philly has changed a lot as far as, people would come here and go to college and then go somewhere else because you weren't going to stick around here for a job. You weren't going to stick around here and have a family. And there's people raising vibrant families here now with opportunities. So I feel like it's a great place to be in.
Definitely, I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. What are some of the things that your family likes doing the best in the area?
You mean like places we like to go?
Yeah.
So, let's see. My husband takes the kids to the fountain that they don't want you to swim in.
Look, do you see my picture over there? Do you see my?
Okay, yeah. So we're doing the same thing.
No, this in the
yeah, like on King Triton.
The little boys. Yeah.
So we actually enjoy Valley Green up Chestnut Hill a lot. That's somewhere we would frequent a lot. And Brendan Beck's is like our favorite, like, ice cream shop. What else do? We enjoy all of the libraries and the rec centers. Like, we've had my children have been involved in lots of activities and programs with the Parks and Recreation. So I'm really grateful that's something. These are a lot of these activities that we can engage in are like free or low cost. And what is that, Ray Street Pier? Yeah, we really like to go there. And I'm trying to think, where else local do we go to? I can't think of anything else right now. Yeah, but
your kids are a little bit older for some of the have they outgrown Smith playgrounds?
No, they still love it. They still love it. My 12-year-old daughter, she likes to say that she's outgrown a lot or she's not interested, but she still likes it.
I know exactly.
And just most recently, I took my 12-year-old daughter and my nieces that are 11 and 13. We went to Candytopia. And have you been?
I don't know about that. No, okay. Tell me.
I got it. So Candytopia is like they kind of created like this candy wonderland. Like it's kind of like they kind of tried to simulate like the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
Oh, I don't
so
know if my kids
even
are
though
listening.
you're not like falling into like a pool of chocolate river or anything like that, but it's really fun. It was really magical. Like they have mini statues that are created out of like gummy bears, and they have a fox that has like he's all out of candy corn.
Okay.
So it was just
Where's it at?
really neat. It's at 8th and Market.
Okay.
It's in the old gallery. I know they call it the fashion
Oh,
district now.
whatever, it's a gallery.
Yeah. So yeah. So,
is it? And also, what Franklin Mills has a new name now too.
It's called Philadelphia Mills.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I remember like I used
No,
to go to the gallery when I
there
was
was
a
something
teenager.
else the same. I was like, we need a directory for Philly that only has the old name, so like you can't.
That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
There was something else I was talking. Oh, because I used to live over in in Kensington near Fishtown.
Okay.
And so we had the Port Richmond Thriftway was like the grocery store that was there.
I'm familiar.
They're calling it Fishtown Crossing.
Okay.
And it's the IGA now, so I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just the
I think it's been
it's
IGA
the
for
Port
a
Richmond
while, right?
Thriftway, and it will always. It's been IGA for a few years.
Okay.
But I'm just in very deep rebellion against
Okay.
Fishtown Crossing.
Yeah.
IGA. It's the Port Richmond Thriftway.
Yeah, I always call things by their old names.
Yeah.
And then like my kids, they'll be like, that's not what it's called, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
And then they start calling it what I call it.
Right.
You know?
Good.
So yeah.
Raise them right.
Yeah, but
well, we'll head down to the gallery.
yeah, the
and check it out.
Candytopia is awesome, and you'll get like this confetti like all in your nose and your mouth. It's a lot of fun. Like I would say I'm a big kid. I like to play. I like to have fun, and I like I'm serious, but when I want to play and have fun, I like to play and have fun. And when it's enough snow, we'll go sledding and ice skating. That's actually one of my favorite pastimes. Actually, Laura Sim Skate House. I used to ice skate there as a teen.
Okay.
And our family usually goes to the river rink, Blue Cross River Rink. Yeah, we enjoy going down there. So that's something that we do locally. Yeah, we always have a good time. Yeah. And this summer I actually went roller skating, and I was like, I'm so scared I'm gonna crash and
that's funny
bump
because
into somebody.
I'm so much more comfortable roller skating, and I'm like ice skating. I'm like, I'll kill myself. I'm gonna break my ankle ice skating, but you can put me on roller skates anytime.
I definitely prefer ice skating. It's just
it's your skill set.
Yeah, I like it's a nice cool breeze, and then I love being able to like make figures in the ice. So it's fun. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check our time. I think we're probably. I don't want it to cut out on us, so we'll move towards wrapping up. But is there anything else that in particular you think for somebody to know about you, as far as like if they want the best way to get in touch with you, or just anything about how you do doula work that you think if someone knew this, then they would just know right away that we're a good fit. I mean, if their favorite movie is she's having a baby, they already know that you're a great fit. But
I think that I don't know if I really can say like one thing about me that would make me like a better fit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I think you're just multifaceted and awesome, and they're gonna figure it out. From
the best way to reach me is through email, and then I do give out my phone number, so by text or email is fine. Okay. And we'll make sure all that's on the webpage. I'll get all that information from you so people can get in touch with you. But thanks for spending this time. Thanks for coming out in the rain. You're welcome. To my house. It was fun. I enjoyed actually meeting you and getting a chance to kind of find out some things. About each other. Yeah. So I enjoyed myself as well. Awesome. I'm so glad. All right. And thanks for whoever this is where we can check real quick. Oh, Megan's there. Megan waved at us. There's always all these people from Twitter that we don't know who they are. So, really? But we know Megan is a doula. Hopefully, I'll get to talk to her one day soon because she's another one who I see people online, but then I never get to hang out with them like this. So we're done. We're done. I'm gonna hit end. Thanks, everybody. Bye.